Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I want to go ahead and shout out Georgette Matthews. Georgette sent me this really disturbing story, and it's coming out of wacky ass Washington, D.C. So what's going on is that you have an 8-year-old, her name is Relisha Rudd, and Relisha Rudd had been staying in the shelter. It's a very confusing story. She had been staying in the shelter with her 27-year-old mother. Her mother's name is Shamika Young, and she has 3 younger brothers. So what happened is that there was a janitor that worked at this shelter that her mother was staying at, and his name is Kahlil Tatum. So Kahlil had befriended the mother, and basically they're saying that he was giving the little girl gifts, you know, helping the family out, all types of things. And their relationship kind of became inappropriate because you're not supposed to be that close with the people in the shelter. So he was later on dismissed from that position there at the shelter. So what ended up happening, how this became national news, is the fact that Relisha has not been in school for the past 30 days. And the school had initially contacted the mother, and the mother had assured the school that Relisha had been sick and that she'd been with the grandmother. So the last time anybody had seen Relisha was March 1st. Relisha's mother was telling other people that she had basically let Relisha go with Dr. Tatum, who is Kahlil Tatum, and this was back on February 26th. So had the school not investigated to see where Relisha was, this mother probably wouldn't have said anything, okay? So once the school investigated and said that, you know, the story's not adding up, they're saying that this man is a doctor. The last time the mother, you know, seen him was around the beginning of March. They decide to call the police. Police end up going to Kahlil Tatum's home. They go to the home, and Kahlil's saying that the last time that he saw Relisha was February 26th. So now nothing is making any sense. The police end up leaving. They come back the next day. They find Tatum's wife murdered. He had shot the wife either later on that night or in that morning. So I don't know if the wife started questioning him about this little girl's disappearance, but he has shot and killed the wife. Now the police have found video of Tatum taking the little girl to a hotel room. This story is just confusing. It's disturbing. Now the grandmother is speaking out, and she's denying everything that the police is saying. She's saying that they never said that Tatum was a doctor. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys this news clip, and I will come back with the rest of my comments.
5 as the search for her daughter intensifies.
Fighting for my daughter. Fighting. I'm scared. Terrified.
This as the man suspected of abducting Relisha Rudd is charged with his own wife's murder. Thanks for joining us here on The Edge. I'm Will Thomas.
And I'm Sean Yancey. The disappearance of 8-year-old Relisha Rudd has taken another turn tonight. Her mother is talking to Fox 5, and police have now charged the man they think the child may be traveling with murder. Fox 5's Karen Gray Houston gets us started tonight on The Edge. Karen?
Sean, this is a remarkable story with so many unanswered questions. Where is the little girl? Why doesn't the man who is supposedly her godfather return her to her mother? And now police are charging him with killing his wife. Shamika Young is Relisha's mom. She called Fox 5 today to say she wanted to make an appeal for the return of her daughter. We met Shamika Young on a street in Southeast D.C. Her eyes were swollen from crying. She told us she's worried about whether her daughter is safe, especially now that Kahlil Tatum is charged with murder. Prince George's County Police tweeted out some pictures of the 51-year-old man who was said to be employed as a janitor at the D.C. General Homeless Shelter where Young was staying. Just yesterday, police found a woman's body at a Red Roof Inn in Oxon Hill. It turned out to be Tatum's wife, Andrea, and tonight police said they had obtained a warrant for his arrest on murder charges. Young told us she often let Tatum care for Relisha and take her on excursions outside the shelter along with his own granddaughter. She said he always brought her back.
All I want to know is where my baby at. Bring her home. That's my firstborn. I'm hurt. I lost the rest of my kids behind this. It hurt. I just want to know where my baby at. I want to know if she's safe and if she okay.
Shamika Young says D.C. Child and Family Services has taken custody of her other 3 children, ages 7, 5, and 4, since these latest developments.
For 8-year-old Relisha Rudd, the FBI says the 2 may have ties to Atlanta, Georgia. Now, this comes just hours after her family fired back against accusations tied to Relisha's school.
My daughter never told the school that Mr. Tatum was the doctor.
This afternoon, D.C. school officials told us that it was questioning the family when Relisha was missed several days of school.
So the school claims Relisha's grandmother said she was under the care of Dr. Tatum, a claim that she flatly denied to us. Now, what is certain at this hour, Relisha is still missing and is likely with this man, Kahlil Tatum, who is now on the FBI's most wanted list.
Roz Plater live in Northwest Washington tonight. She's got the latest breaking details in this story. Roz.
Leon, the grandmother says that if Tatum was passing himself off as a doctor, it was out without their knowledge. We have also learned there is a new sense of urgency tonight to find this little girl. The grandmother says she recently began having seizures. Melissa Young, maternal grandmother of Relisha Rudd, says she is even more worried about her missing granddaughter because the 8-year-old may be in need of medication.
Relisha suffers with real bad headaches. She's been suffering with headaches since she was 1. And then like last year around October sometime, right before her birthday, she had what they call a seizure.
She says the family had been trying to get her in to see a neurologist to figure out why, and that Kahlil Tatum, the janitor from the homeless shelter who likely has her, knew all of that.
But not one time has we asked him to pose as her doctor.
That is a startling accusation from city officials that Tatum posed as a doctor to explain the child's absences from school since late February and that her family was in on the hoax. Young says Tatum told them Relisha had been having headaches. Relisha's mother told the school the child was sick, and when they asked for documentation,
I says, no, I don't have a letter, but I got the number for the person that she's with.
And that was Tatum's number.
My daughter never told the school that Mr. Tatum was the doctor.
We also asked her about that chilling hotel surveillance video where the 8-year-old seemed comfortable with Tatum.
This is not a child that cries not to go with him. This is a child that would cry because she can't go with him.
Now the grandmother says she's just praying he brings her back.
I got to get her back. I'm serious. I got to have her back.
Now, the grandmother says she believes that Relisha may be kept from any kind of news coverage because if she knew people were looking for her and she could get to a phone, she knows how to dial 911. She knows all of her family's telephone numbers. Tonight, she's just praying that police find her soon. We're live in Northwest D.C. I'm Roz Plater, ABC 7.
So you guys just watched the news clip, and like I said, the whole story is just really, really disturbing. I've been trying to keep up with it, but it's just so many twists and turns. First, it was just an Amber Alert missing person. Then as the story got deeper, it said that the girl had been missing for 30 days. I'm sorry, I might come off as harsh, I might come off as wrong, but I'm not buying her fucking grandmother's tears. The grandma's coming off and talking like a damn crackhead or somebody who needs a quick fix, okay? First of all, I'm not buying her tears. A real grandmother is not going to go 3 weeks without hearing from their grandchild and being okay with that. I'm not buying her story. I'm not buying the mother's tears. The mother has been on the news crying. I think both the grandmother and the mother should be charged with negligence. Like I said, if the school had not reported this girl missing to the police, neither the grandmother or the mother would have. And then for the mother to be sitting here obstructing this investigation by saying that the daughter's safe and that she's with Dr. Tatum is bullshit to me. I feel like this mother sold her daughter to this man. And this man is a pedophile. I really do. This is not the first case. If you guys remember 5 years ago, the same thing happened in North Carolina. If you guys remember 5 years ago, little Shania Davis, she was reported missing in North Carolina. That was a big case down there. I was living in Charlotte at the time. Folks were looking for this little girl, and then the last time they saw the little girl was in that man's arms with the dreadlocks, and the little girl was looking up, and later on the little girl's body was found. She had been killed. And then when they ended up confronting the mother about everything, the mother finally admitted that she had sold her daughter for drugs. And I really believe that this is the same thing that's going on with Relisha. It's just been reported a few hours ago that the police are really thinking this little girl is dead. If this man could kill his wife that he's been with for years, who's to say that he didn't kill this little girl?
Developments in the disappearance of 8-year-old Relisha Rudd. Today, police released new details, disturbing details, mind you, about the man who's suspected of abducting the little girl, including a new timeline of events.
Now, we know this surveillance video of Relisha and Kahlil Tatum was taken at a D.C. hotel February 26th. The last time she was seen, though, was on March 1st, and she was still with Tatum. The next day, Tatum reportedly bought contractor bags and spent a considerable amount of time in Kenilworth Park.
Fox 5's Bob Barnard is live on the scene with the late-breaking details. Bob?
Well, Scott and Sean, this is Kenilworth Park and Aquatic Gardens along the Anacostia River in northeast D.C. Behind me, you'll see, maybe a quarter mile or so from us out in the field here, you've got a large police presence that is MPD, D.C. police, and FBI agents. And they're gathering here, have been here all day. And if you look off to the right, there's another news crew there, but also way off in the distance, you might be able to make out some of these yellow vests that the police cadets have been wearing. And there they are way out into the field, approaching the Anacostia River as they continue this heartbreaking search here, based not on witnesses, but on circumstantial evidence, according to police. Now, this is a picture of Relisha Rudd, 8 years old, feared dead, according to D.C. Police Chief Kahlil Malik Tatum, not seen for 26 days. Last known to be in the care of a 51-year-old man named Kahlil Tatum. He was a custodian at the homeless shelter near the D.C. jail where Relisha's family had been living. Now, Chief Lanier will explain why investigators were drawn to this parkland today. We're told they have found nothing so far. They're calling this a recovery effort using those police cadets and even FBI canine teams. Here's Chief Lanier with more on this timeline that's brought them here today.
We've determined that 8-year-old Relisha was last seen on March 1st, 2014 with Mr. Kahlil Tatum within the District of Columbia. Relisha was in the company of Mr. Tatum with the permission of her mother. On March 2nd, we know that Mr. Tatum purchased, among other items, a carton of black 42-gallon self-tie contractor trash bags within the District of Columbia. Not long after that purchase, Mr. Tatum was in the area of the aquatic gardens for a period of time.
Now, the manpower and equipment here now seem to indicate the police plan to be here for the night and perhaps even longer. They don't want to miss anything, as happened in the Chandra Levy case. You remember, she was the missing D.C. intern from about a dozen years ago. Her remains were found in Rock Creek Park a year after she went missing, and despite what appeared to us to be an intense police search in Rock Creek Park a year before that. So again, police are here with the assistance of the FBI. They say they have found nothing yet, but the circumstantial evidence that Chief Lanier explained there is why they're here, and we'll be on top of this story, be with it through the night into tomorrow if that's what it takes to ideally wrap up this case. As for Mr. Tatum, Scott, police are saying they don't know where he is. Last seen getting onto into the metro system. Last week, the morning his wife was found shot dead in a motel in Prince George's County, Oxon Hill. They believe he is responsible for that as well.
Just tragic. Bob Barnard, thank you very much.
You have a lot of women out here who are sick and they're willing to sell their daughters to pedophiles for whatever reason, be it drugs or be it money. And I feel like this is that same situation, that she sold her daughter to this man to be used. And now this man has done something harmful to her daughter, possibly even killed her daughter. You know, this is just sad. And that's when I heard this story, it just reminds me of the whole Sinead Davis case all over again. You know, this makes no sense. As a parent, it is your job to protect your child. If your child goes missing for more than 24 hours, I don't understand how as a mother and as a grandmother you don't call. If my mom doesn't hear from me or my kids in 24 hours, she's calling and checking up on us, making sure that we're okay. You know, I don't understand how a grown woman does not hear from her 8-year-old child or has no idea where her child is for a month and doesn't call the authorities, and then continues to lie and say that the child is safe and the child is with the doctor when she knows damn well this man is not a doctor but a janitor. I mean, this is insane to me. I feel like they need to investigate this mother thoroughly. They also need to investigate the grandmother as well, and anybody else who may be possibly involved. Because the grandmother looked high as hell in that interview. She sounded high as hell. Who knows, the mother and the grandmother may be in this together. Anyways, this story is just really disturbing. It just really is. And I just hope that they find this little girl alive. But now they're saying that the chances are really slim. They're saying that the last purchases that this man made were black trash bags and duct tape. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows? If he can kill his wife, he could definitely hurt this little girl. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire disturbing situation. And how do you feel about the mother? Am I wrong for saying that I feel like the mother is somehow involved? Do you feel like the mother's involved? Or do you feel like she's just an innocent victim in all of this? So let me know your thoughts. All right. Deuces.